just a minute ago, they were like, we would never do that. We would never call you guys pedophiles because we're not pieces of crap. But you guys are all pedophiles. You guys are the worst pedophiles. You guys love pedophilia. Like, right away, dude. Right away, he was just talking about how he doesn't do that.
And the right wing's like, yes, I love how they molest the little kids like that. Go get them.
Bro, these people, do they not know?
How is it a grooming event? It's a drag show at a mind your own goddamn business.
Wait, it's a drag show at a mind your business? What was it called? Club Q. Right-wing influencers and media double down on anti-LGBTQ rhetoric in the wake of the Colorado shooting. Does this really have anything to do with Tim Pool? Nope. Oh wait, Tim Pool, a conservative internet personality with 1.4 million followers on Twitter, targeted the venue Club Q where the shooting happened. We shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids, Pool tweeted. Club Q had a grooming event. How to prevent the violence and stop the grooming? Pool appeared to be referring to all ages drag Sunday brunches that were being hosted at the venue. Ari Drennan, the LGBTQ program director at Media Matters, a progressive watchdog organization, called Pool's tweet a false and insanely dangerous and irresponsible thing to say. Drennan, who tracks media narratives around the LGBTQ people, said not even in her worst nightmare scenario did she predict that the responses to the Colorado mass shooting. So many of these people seem to have crossed over into territory where they are very comfortable advocating for people to take matters into their own hands. So he's justifying the shooting by saying that they're all pedophiles?
They don't need your goddamn permission. Oh, do we need permission from grifters now to enjoy our adult lives? Is that what we need? I need permission from Beanie Boy Tim Pool to go to a drag show?
Does he have a video on this?
Violence is always bad. Every single circumstance. Always. If you find yourself in a situation where your life is being threatened and you resort to violence to defend yourself, you're justified in defending yourself. But the violence is still bad. We don't want fighting. We don't want destruction. We want life. We want creation. We want peace, sustainability, and cooperation. Now, obviously, if your life is being threatened, the person at fault is the person threatening your life and trying to take your life. In this story from the Washington Post, they talk about the hero of Club Q, a man who started beating the shooter, subduing.
So this already sounds a bit different than like the little bit of context I'm getting from stories about what he posted on Twitter. I should probably go read what he posted on Twitter as well. So I wonder if this is completely different than what he was saying before, or if the stuff that we're reading is a bit out of context.
Him. Now, of course, the view of most people is that this guy is a hero. The violent actions he took helped save people's lives. And the reason why I say the violence is always bad is because it shouldn't have had to happen. It shouldn't ever happen. But this is life. Now, I'll tell you the scary prospect of what this story means, because I'm shocked at what I'm seeing across media and social media. The first thing, everybody recognizes that this is a horrifying and tragic story. A shooting in Colorado Springs inside a gay dance club, an LGBT dance club, Club Q. Now, we don't exactly have any confirmed motives or anything, and people are saying, wait, don't speculate, Tim. One thing I can tell you, though, is about an hour and a half before the shooting took place, Club Q posted on Facebook that they were going to be hosting an all-ages drag brunch the next day. An hour and a half after that, a man showed up with weapons and body armor and began shooting people, innocent people, and killing 5 people. Hate crime, murder, etc. The scary thing about this is that when I see this and I say something like, hey, this is really bad, a shooting like this should never happen, what do I see on social media? What do I see on these forums? There are people that are cheering it on. That scares me. These people at Club Q who were dancing, who were attacked, were not hosting an all-ages drag event, but the club was the next day. The response from people then is that these are groomers and pedophiles and other things like that. And the scary reality is the Antifa's showing up with rifles at these events, and people are protesting. The tension's escalating, and it looks like...
What? It sounds like he's talking about himself right now. From everything we just read, it sounds like he's talking about himself. He keeps saying people believe and stuff like that. I thought he was the one who believed this. No?
I don't know how something like this gets resolved. I can only stress we need legislation. We need the police to shut these events down for a variety of reasons. But it's not going to happen. There's not going to be a shutting down of these events. There's not going to be a legislation. And if this is what happens, then I fear what will start to happen is more violence. How do we stop it? That's what I'm trying to find out. There's a guy, a journalist. Don't like him. He's a disinformation peddler. Nate Silver's calling him out. It's actually kind of funny. Nate Silver is calling out Ben Collins, who is a disinformation reporter, they call him. And it's because, Ben Collins insulted Nate Silver's forecasting models or something because he doesn't understand how they work. But Ben Collins is being called out because he went on MSNBC, I think it was MSNBC, and he says that he's written all of these stories about what they refer to as stochastic terrorism. He didn't say those words. He said he's written stories about how the rhetoric is increasing against LGBT people and things like that. I don't even know how to talk about this. I'm worried that this is how we see the ultimate breakdown. This is it. I didn't think it would be this issue. I thought it would be abortion or something. So I tweeted. A club announces they're going to be having an all-ages drag brunch. People are posting photos and videos of what goes on at these events, and it's horrifying. Men walking around, spreading their legs for children. Males with fake breasts, exposing them. There was the event, I think it was in Texas, where the big sign said it's not going to lick itself, as they had little children running around. It's happening. It's really happening. People have begun protesting. In response to the protesting, leftist journalists like Ben Collins come out and say this is going to lead to attacks and violence. Bill Maher said that these people are attacking these clubs, these events. Then this. Here's these posts on Facebook are back to back. Okay, people are asking me why I posted this image. This is a single screenshot, not two different ones. Around 10 p.m. Excuse me. Club Q posted, "Let's prep for a fantastic."
He actually seems like really upset. Like, he seems like super, like, angsty about this one.
Sunday Fun Day. Doors open at 11 a.m. for our noon all-ages drag brunch. Join us for a fantastic drink special and even more amazing drag show. Then stick around for an all-stars cast of our freshest faces. We're celebrating Transgender Day of Remembrance with a variety of gender identities and performance styles. Show starts at 8 p.m. The next thing they posted, only a couple hours later. Well, several hours later. Club Q is devastated by the senseless attack on our community. Our prayers and thoughts are with all the victims and their families and friends. We thank the quick reactions of heroic customers that subdued the gunman and ended this hate attack. This guy who attacked this was in the wrong. And there's no question about it. The scary thing to me is that's not what I'm seeing on social media. And it's veiled because nobody really wants to say it. But I'll say it. I think the grooming is wrong. I think the grooming should be stopped by law enforcement. I believe that there should be legislation stopping what's happening. And many of these things are already illegal. And that never justifies what we are seeing here. First and foremost, a guy goes into a club having nothing.
Okay. It seems really odd that this is what he ends up talking about when there's a shooting. And he keeps saying like, "Oh, it's so horrible, it's so bad." But then he goes back to this. That is odd that he's making it about this. I don't know. I don't think he's giving excuses for the gunman to shoot people, but it's super weird that that's what he talks about is what was being done at the club. What was it, down the road? Like, was he saying like he said it was a different club or it was different people than the one that was advertising that stuff?
Thing to do with that event. I'm sorry, he goes into an event. He goes in Saturday night and he attacks random people. Attacking people outright is wrong, but I don't understand how anybody is justifying this. What I'm hearing from people is just saying, "Oh, so you expect us to tolerate grooming?" What? No! I'm saying we should condemn this. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, man. I just can tell you that anybody who's...
Oh, okay. I get it now. So he sees people justifying the shooting, he starts getting on the people for justifying the shooting. And then they start saying that he supports pedophilia and grooming and crap like that. So now he tweets out that he doesn't support grooming and pedophilia, that he thinks these sorts of places should be shut down. And everybody else thinks that he's just justifying the shooting. Because if it really was an all ages thing, then yeah, I think that's freaking weird. But if it's not an all ages thing, then he's lying. But I don't see anything that clarifies this.
And by the way,
Shut up and sit down, Tim. How about that? How about that? Always involved in everyone's personal life and personal business. Didn't say a peep when it came to Roy Moore fondling 13-year-old girls and molesting them. Not a peep, because it's all about political power. It's all about getting your guys elected into Congress. And don't give me any of that garbage about how, no, I'm not on the right. I'm not on the right. I just spew right-wing propaganda all day and all night. I'm not on the right. Shut up and sit down.
That. I'm not debating that. He's a monstrous right-winger. He's a terrible, terrible person.
I don't think you have to be on the right to think that that sort of stuff's weird. But again, it's depending on what it is that we're actually talking about here. Because yeah, if the facts are different, then I don't know.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, look, on jaywalking, I'm progressive. But you know, I think we should all gay people are pedophiles and groomers, and we should all attack them and just do all these.
Whoa, that is not what he said. What? Did he say this? All gay people are pedophiles and groomers? Did this? I don't remember him saying this. Was that in his tweets? We shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event. How do prevent the violence and stop the grooming? Responding to a guy saying, I don't think we have to tolerate pedophiles because some a-hole shot up a gay bar. Frankly, a lot of people trying to convince us we need to tolerate pedophiles seem to be happy to use any excuse to silence our opposition. Okay, so yeah, so this seems like the type of person that it honestly blows my mind that people pretend they care about children to express their hate for the LGBTQ community. If you actually did care about our youth, you would be banging down the doors of churches where they are regularly molested and traumatized. I'm so confused. I don't think we have to tolerate pedophiles because some a-hole shot up a gay bar. Frankly, a lot of people, yeah, so this is, okay. So this is a bunch of people blowing up a guy. Yeah, so, well, Tim was responding to this guy who is like justifying the shooting. And Tim is trying to say we shouldn't tolerate pedophiles grooming kids. Club Q had a grooming event. How I guess he's saying, how do you prevent the violence and stop the grooming? I don't get it. This is a genuinely evil reaction. It's actually hard for me to comprehend how anyone's reaction to 5 people being murdered is to speculate that they were probably pedophiles who need to protect ourselves from. The exact rhetoric that inspired the fascists who murdered them. Hey Timcast, if you're actually worried about the danger posed by creepy pedos, maybe start with your 57-year-old buddy you like to talk about the hotness of 14-year-old high school girls instead of the 5 innocent people who were just murdered. Kurt Schindler, you'll notice that not one of these gals is on a trajectory for hotness. That's freaking weird, dude. That's weird. That's a weird thing to say. The amount of molestations that happen at church are like 100 per year. The amount in public school systems like 80,000 per year. Yeah. It's not as many in churches overall, but if you're looking at just Catholic churches, yeah, in like the amount of people that are actually participating in those churches, it is insanely disproportionate, like very disproportionate to like regular population. I wonder if Tim like even understands like how bad this looks. I get that he's responding to these people, so I don't think it's as bad as everybody else does. Let's see if he even responds to like the people from the left attacking him.
Calling for violence or who wants violence typically has not experienced it. That's all I can say, because it's nightmarish what ends up happening. So around 10 p.m. they post about this. The Washington Post reports, moments before midnight, a young man wearing a military-style jacket carrying a long AR-15 style rifle and handgun walked into the club, where the bouncers knew many of the patrons and were known to give everyone else a hard look. Someone mentions they hear popping. It's muffled. Scrolling down, they mention the police were called 11:56 p.m. and 57 seconds. A man jumped on him, grabbed his weapon, and started beating him with it, stopping him. Good. We should not tolerate grooming. We should not tolerate pedophiles. But we should not be encouraging random acts of extremist violence. And we should condemn random acts always. But this is what scares me. The ideological bifurcation has reached a point where look. Let me play this clip for you.
I do want to say though,
This is Ben Collins. Not a fan of the guy.
am I doing something wrong here? Here are some headlines that I wrote the last 6 months. Fueled by internet's far-right machine, anti-LGBTQ threats shut down trans rights and drag events. Remember, there's a drag event happening in Colorado.
Okay, hold on. Now his framing's always off. But yes, people have been protesting these events.
Anti-trans stalkers at Kiwi Farms, which is a anti-trans website that stalks people,
That's a lie. There's people on there who hold those views. It's a forum.
are chasing one victim around the world. Their list of targets is growing. That was a couple months ago. Doctors under threat from far-right activists.
Wait, what does he mean that's a lie?
Growing. That was a couple months ago. Doctors under threat from far-right.
Views. It's a forum. Okay, hold on. Now his framing's always off. But yes, people have been protesting these events.
Anti-trans stalkers at Kiwi Farms, which is a anti-trans website that stalks people,
That's a lie. There's people on there who hold those views. It's a forum.
are chasing one victim.
There most definitely are people on Kiwi Farms who stalk people. Like, that's like part of the game, is like inserting yourself into people's lives that don't want you part of their lives. Like that is what stalking is.
Victim around the world. Their list of targets is growing. That was a couple months ago. Doctors under threat from far-right activists for providing trans care. Boston Children's Hospital faces bomb threat after right-wing harassment campaign. There were 3 of those bomb threats. FBI charges Massachusetts woman with Boston Children's Hospital bomb threats, so they found one of the people. At least 20 Republican politicians have claimed that schools are making accommodations for students who identify as cats. That was before midterms. Here are 3 more from my colleagues in the last 3 weeks. As election nears, some conservative groups have ramped up anti-trans campaign ads. Far-right figures appear to be testing Twitter's boundaries for anti-LGBTQ speech. GOP senator targets TikTok influencer with anti-transgender taunt.
Okay, you get the point. Here's what I want to say. We shouldn't tolerate what these people are doing to kids. No question. But not tolerating something doesn't mean in any way defending what we see with random acts of violence. There's a lot of horrible things that are happening with kids. And I view it much like Leviathan's simple political thing. It absolutely helps. We are not in the era where standing in a building gives you political power. If people get scared, it's something called reasonable boundaries. If you go up to a random person on the street and then point and say, "Excuse me, sir, see that random person over there when the drone strikes?" Most people will agree with that. You've now got them to move over a tiny bit. Imperfection. And an underwear or a bikini or something like that, a bathing suit, there's no appetite for the stopping of it. When I pointed out, similarly in agreement with Ben Collins, a man I do not like, that it looks like this guy was targeted over the drag event, the left actually attacked me for it. I think because they want fomentation of violence or escalation. I didn't say civil war. I said if the grooming doesn't stop, if the legislators can't stop it, if people are continually calling for violence, then you tell me what happens next. And surprisingly, the thread is filled with leftists saying, I'm encouraging more violence, and people on the right saying, we refuse to tolerate pedophiles. And I'm like,
that definitely is going to sound like he's in favor of the violence then. If he's saying, yeah, well, you tell me what happens next. Like, yeah, it sounds like he's saying, like, obviously this is what we're going to do.
Holy crap, dude. I mean, this is what I fear is where we go. So you tell me what's going to happen, I guess. I am not someone who believes that we solve problems through violence. I think war is bad. I think it makes things worse. I think it drops our standard of living. I think it makes these people double down. It makes them get armed security. It makes them get legislative protection. We don't want these grooming events to happen, but the left lies. They say they're not grooming events.
Okay.
They're not. You're encouraging violence by saying they are. They are. They're having adult men perform sexualized events for children. They claim it's not, but they're lying. It's not going to lick itself on the wall. There's no answer to this, man. I'm not going to pretend to know. All I know is that I'm looking at this story and I'm like, is anyone going to bring this up? I'm wondering why no one's really talking about it. I mean, people are talking about it, don't get me wrong. But I'm wondering why it's not been so dominant like many other events.
Horrible things so we can goad our lunatic audience. And yes, Tim Pool, Matt Walsh, Tucker Carlson, you all have lunatics in your audience and you weaponize them and you know it. I mean, look at him. I'll finish the tweet to be fair. How do we prevent the violence and stop the grooming, he says. Oh, in other words, well, I didn't quite like the way he murdered all those people, but hey, I really like the fact that he attacked these people that I'm calling groomers. Based on nothing. I mean, he said it, Club Q had a grooming event. He said, it's not a goddamn grooming event, you monster. Okay, so what is a drag queen? A drag queen is someone who dresses in a way you don't like.
All right, we got to find out. Club Q and the demonization of drag queens. All ages drag brunch featuring drag story time. First Sunday of each month at Club Q, 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. $15 bottomless brunch buffet. Yeah, this is Club Q. Yeah, I mean, if all they're doing is reading books, I don't know why I would care. Did you catch that bottomless was a double entendre? I don't think it was a double entendre, but it had me pause for a second where I was like, wait a second. But that's like the kind of language they use for buffets. So.
Are you insane? Are you insane? Why do you care how they dress? Why do you care? It has nothing to do with kids.
You should go.
Maybe we don't like the way you goddamn dress with your stupid dumb beanie, okay? So what is it? Oh, should we call you groomer, pedophile? And then say, oh, I know somebody should do something to stop Tim Pool. He's wearing a beanie.
Okay, all right. So they're way off. They think he's talking about grooming and stuff because there were LGBTQ people at Club Q. But that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about the brunch the next day, also at Club Q. He wasn't talking about the gay bar or anything like that. So they're just way off. Like they are way off in what they think he's saying and what they're like upset about. I think Tim Pool was stupid, but everything that they're upset about didn't happen.
He's a monster. He probably molests little kids because of his stupid beanie. Okay, we don't do that because unlike you, we're not trying to get people killed. Unlike you, we're not monsters who are constantly attacking people who are gay and in the LGBTQ community. I'm sick of these right-wingers. Look at it, they're almost celebrating it. I mean, he nearly brought goddamn pom-poms to the shooting.
Listen, if you have problems with men dressing as women or men dressing in drag, you know, first thing I would do as a right-winger is I'd clean my own room, okay? Why don't you go have a conversation with Steven Crowder, who never misses an opportunity to dress as a woman, which I have no problem with, but clearly he has an affinity.
These are such bad dunks, dude. Oh, I don't want to listen to this. They're gonna try and dunk on him for all sorts of stuff, and they don't even understand what it was he said.
For it, and you guys seem to think anyone who dresses in drag is somehow a groomer. So why don't you go have a conversation with your groomer buddy, Steven Crowder?
But the right wing are disproportionately groomers and pedophiles. So let's be super clear. I mean, let's talk about what do we know about the giant cases of pedophilia in this country. Number one is Catholic priests, one of the most conservative professions in America. Right wingers, Republicans, Catholic priests, and they're always constantly talking about, oh yeah, a Catholic priest said that.
I bet you anything there is not data on this. Right-wing groomers attack Target Suicide Prevention Service. Conservatives moral panic over grooming. The far-right grooming gangs and racist lies. LGBTQ people face groomer accusations and trolling. The right wing's seemingly disproportionate focus on junior Congresswoman AOC. All right. Yeah, I don't think there's any data to support anything that he's just said.
That Nancy Pelosi or Joe Biden couldn't have community. Catholic priests are the best, they say. And meanwhile, they're the worst pedophiles in the entire country.
And the Boy Scouts, by the way.
Boy Scouts,
which
they
is
love the Boy Scouts.
Right wing compared to the Girl Scouts.
Nest of vipers and pedophiles and groomers.
Just a minute ago, they were like, we would never do that. We would never call you guys pedophiles because we're not pieces of crap. We don't want violence against people. So we would never call you guys pedophiles. But you guys are all pedophiles. You guys are the worst pedophiles. You guys love pedophilia. Like right away, dude. Right away, he was just talking about how he doesn't do that. He was just talking about the fact that he does not call the right-wingers pedophiles, and then they turn around and call right-wingers pedophiles. This is beautiful.
Groomers, okay? And the right wing's like, yes, I love how they molest the little kids like that. Go get them.
Bro, these people, do they not know how backwards they are? Oh my goodness, this is so sad.
Boy Scouts, go get them, priests. Tell me I'm wrong. You guys love the Boy Scouts and Catholic priests. You never criticize them. Well, okay, Jeffrey Epstein. Oh, Donald Trump says he's a great friend of mine. He said, I know he likes them young. He said, I know he likes them young. He said it.
Yep.
And he wished Ghislaine Maxwell well twice after she was arrested. The biggest groomer in American history.
Wait, saying you like them young does not mean you're a pedophile, dude. Come on. Like, his wife is a lot younger than him. Even like he likes them young could be like, you know, 30, 25, like They're acting like he likes them young means that he's automatically a pedophile. These are so stupid, dude.
And as president, from the podium, he's like, oh, I wish her well.
Yeah.
And
But
Tim
Cenk-
Pool, did you say, hey,
No.
Donald Trump is a monster who supports pedophiles and groomers?
Well,
no,
Donald
because
Trump's his daddy, right?
Yeah.
He's your daddy, right? Tim Pool, you love your daddy. Daddy can do no wrong. Daddy can go ahead.
Bro, this is so bad. Oh, they look so bad, dude. Oh,
And
no.
wish Ghislaine Maxwell and whoever he wants well, knowing full well that this woman was standing trial for literally grooming young girls and women to be molested and sexually assaulted and in some cases raped by Jeffrey Epstein. But your daddy is the one who wished Ghislaine Maxwell well, so that's okay. That's okay.
Biggest pedophiles in American politics, Dennis Hastert, former Republican Speaker of the House, Mark Foley, another Republican who tried to molest the kids who were interns and pages in Congress. And every step of the way, all the Republicans circle the wagons. Roy Moore, oh, our molesters are awesome, they say. Please vote for our molesters and our pedophiles, Republicans say. Republicans, you're guilty, okay? So,
Oh,
you
no.
don't like it? Does that hurt your feelings? Meanwhile, you call gay people groomers nonstop.
Bro, what is wrong with him? You call gay people groomers nonstop. They're not getting what Tim Pool said. They're not understanding. They're so far off, dude. He was not calling gay people groomers.
And you don't care about their feelings. Now they're doing another talking point. All teachers are groomers and pedophiles. Why? Because the teachers union gives money to Democrats. So they're trying to destroy the teachers union. So Joe Rogan does it, Tim Pool does it, every Republican politician does it. And then I'm supposed to care about your goddamned feelings as you encourage people to murder gay people day in and day out? He said it. He talked about how Club Q were groomers after they were massacred. The right wing are monsters. And I'll tell you right now.
He wasn't talking about the people who died. He wasn't talking about the people who died. He was talking about the people from the next day, or like the people at a completely different place. This is what I'm talking about. They have no idea what they're criticizing him for.
Now, the number one reason they constantly talk about pedophilia is because it's going through their heads. Non-stop, they're thinking about kids. I guarantee it. The reason Tim Pool wears a beanie is because he's trying to contain the pedophilia that's in his head. That's why he's always talking about it. He's seeing it everywhere. Why? Because he's projecting. Oh, Tim, did your feelings get hurt? You call everybody groomers and pedophiles, and you have no concern knowing full well there are lunatics who can't wait to murder them in your audience. You can't say that about me. Oh, I can. I don't know. I don't know that if you are. I do know you show all the signs of it.
Oh my goodness.
You can play at that game.
Yeah, I mean, look, and
He just said that they wouldn't do that. And now he's like, yeah, two can play at that game. Do they not know that they look like hypocrites all the time, dude? It's so embarrassing. Every single time we watch them, they do something like this.
keep going if you want to. Keep going, because you'll go after medical professionals, doctors, nurses. You'll go after teachers. You'll go after workers, all sorts of groups of people who have no power. And then elections roll around, and you're like, wow, how did the Republicans underperform so significantly? Could it be that they spend all their time attacking hardworking people in this country? They spend all their time defaming in the worst possible ways innocent people in this country? Because that's their bread and butter, Cenk. So, I mean, the projection point, I think, is a good point because we've seen it play out so many times with so many right-wing public figures. But the other possibility is this is Tim Pool's bread and butter. This is how he makes his money. This is what a small faction of rabid right-wing zealots eat up. This is what they want for dinner, and this is what they consume on media, and that's what Tim Pool and other goons like him provide.
Isn't it amazing that they attack teachers, doctors, scientists, and the average worker saying their wages are too high? But they never attack bankers or corporate CEOs.
Not surprising at all. They work.
Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Okay. All right. I can't listen to this anymore.